Hello, it's Starlight Studio, and this is going over some anatomy and some district drawing. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm going to do some quick sketching. This is not so much of a tutorial as just me drawing. So I might do a tutorial another day, or I might go over it as I'm going, but this is a gesture drawing, so not so much of a drawing like I normally would do. Um, the rules of a gesture drawing are a little bit different. So okay, yeah, let's talk about that. So gesture drawing is about like finding the shape. You're not really worrying about the anatomy. You're not really worrying about the proportion. You're just trying to find the shape and probably the space as well. You're trying to find like the fluidity of the model or the pose or the scenery, and you're just trying to get like, instead of writing a whole paragraph, you're like making notes instead of writing a paragraph, if that makes any sense. You're writing the cliff notes so you understand what's going on. And this is actually a very good exercise if you find your work a little bit stiff, if you find your work a little bit too straight. Like, try drawing a little bit more sketchy, try to draw a little bit more loose, try to loosen up your hand. I've been drawing this way for a long time, so I know what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to describe. It's much easier to do this with pencil, by the way. This is actually kind of hard to do with a digital, but it's okay. So now I got my. So this is pretty much done at this point. So this is your gesture drawing, but now I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. All right, so you can basically call this done, and you're practicing your gesture drawings, and you're practicing your gesture drawings. And like I said, keep in mind, it's not really about proportion here. You're just trying to get the general idea, you're trying to get the general shape, you're trying to get the general framework, you're just trying to get something kind of basic down. You're just not worried about other rules. You try to maintain some kind of proportion, if you can, and like there's like test your visual memory and test your artistic memory, but you're just not being as technical about it, if that makes any sense. You're trying to stay loose, you're trying to keep fluid, you're trying to keep um, you're not so much worried about placement as you would be with a drawing. Now, once you've gotten the gesture of the pose down, now it's time to get into, okay, like maybe we need to make some corrections. And it's easier to make those corrections when you have the base form already down. So now you're just like filling in the blank, so to speak. Sometimes it's easier to actually just edit your work instead of doing it in the first place. So now I'm just going over more of a structural design, more of an analytic, more of a anatomy design, more being more structural, being more critical about my shapes. So now we're getting into the drawing, if you will. I actually really enjoy gesture drawing, so much so that I forgot about portraiture for a while, which is a different skill. They are definitely similar, but they're definitely different skills also. So like I said, this is basically done, so at this point I'm just kind of seeing if, like, do I want to do something with this? Do I want to do something more? Do I want to call this good? Do I want to do another sketch? It's good to always practice. Like, I wanted to start with a practice of a gesture drawing because I haven't done one in a while. You never want to lose what you've already gained, so it's important to keep practicing. As I've said before, I've done portraiture in the past, but then I got stuck on gesture drawing for a long time, and I kind of forgot about the portraiture. I was just focused on the gesture drawing. It's a lot of fun if you ever get into it. Obviously, portraiture has its own bonuses as well. But, okay, so now this is the beauty of digital. Now I'm going to start working on the portrait a little bit. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. Alright. So, like I said before, now I'm going to get into the details. because the drawing is already done. Now it's just time to make adjustments. It's also time to change the opacity a little bit. Let's see. No. Wait. There. Okay. So let me change this to like 30. Alright. Let me put that back. Okay. So that might be a little dark. I definitely prefer it to be a little bit darker when I'm drawing digital. When I'm drawing in pencil, I can be a little bit lighter, but I just feel like I just don't see it very well. I don't know if it's my eyesight or what, but I just feel like I just don't see it very well unless it's dark. And what's fun about gesture drawing is you get to test yourself. Like, oh wow, I did a pretty good job, right? I wasn't that far off on the structure and the shape. So you kind of get to pat yourself on the back when you realize how close you were. So right away, one of the things I noticed right away is the tilt of her body. I am using a reference, although I can't show you the reference. So right away I noticed that she has a tilt, and I need to fix that. Sometimes it doesn't want to draw. It's so weird. It's like not doing anything. You. Never forget just how curvy the body is. So like her bicep, for example, is curvy. Even though she has straight arms, it's actually a curvy arm, not a straight arm. Her muscles are not very pronounced, but she still has a curvy arm, not a straight arm. It's very important. And sometimes you realize just how off you were, which is also a good thing, because then you can improve. Never be afraid to know when your work is not good. That way you can improve. And it's not, oh, my work isn't good. No, it's, oh, well, I could do better. Always look at it from the perspective that you can improve. Alright, so what can I do to make my work even better? More appealing. More attractive. Whoops. Sorry about that. I don't know why it does that. It's so annoying. This stops working. It has a full charge. I don't understand. Whatever. As long as it works. That's all that matters. I think that's a little off, but that's okay. Not going for perfection at the moment. It feels hot. Maybe that's why it's not working right. Okay. So I got some of the details a little bit better. Now it's time to work on the actual portrait. Now this is actually difficult for me to see. I don't know what the correct word is, but sometimes sometimes I don't see very well. So, pardon me if this is actually difficult for me. It's a little bit too small and I can't blow it up anymore. To quote one of my favorite animes, I have the fuzzy eye sickness. I love Dr. Stone. Anyone get into Dr. Stone? That's like my new anime. Can't wait for the new season. Okay, I think that's a little off actually. Let me see. How can I fix that? Alright, I'm gonna start over. Yeah, I'm gonna start over. Let me go. That does not look right. None of that looks right at all. Alright, so I'm going to do myself a favor. And I'm going to structure this. Most of the time I don't do that, but it's not working right now, so I'm going to structure it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I was talking about that the other day. And never be discouraged. It's important to remember your structures so your work becomes a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Let me just start that over. I encourage you guys to start over. There. Don't just keep working at it if it's wrong. Alright, so the eyes are there. And the face is there. And the mouth. Yeah, the mouth is here. And it is there. And the chin. This thing is really annoying me. The chin is there. There, that's a little bit better. And then her eye. Now, when you have an askewed face, it actually becomes a little bit different, and I don't want to talk about that, but if you ever feel like looking up some art books, they all explain it in there, how the face looks different as it rotates. I mean, I could explain it, but that's not what I'm doing right now. Maybe in another video. Right now I'm just drawing. I'm not doing a tutorial right now. I'm talking a little bit, but it's not a tutorial. I noticed in my videos that I was quiet in my old videos, and it doesn't seem very appealing, so I'm just talking. Just to keep it a little bit more interesting. Trying to bring up anything that might be interesting, thoughts that come to my mind, thoughts about my work, thoughts about drawing, thoughts about art in general. This is not meant to be a tutorial, because if it was, I would be doing it completely different. So even if I wanted to, a tutorial wouldn't make very much sense. It's more like here's a couple notes for you guys to think about while you draw. It's not really a tutorial. It's more like here's a summary. I don't really like tutorials anyway, to be perfectly honest. Because then you don't really learn it on your own, which is the way I did. I mean, yeah, we had certain things. We definitely learned about certain things, but for the most part, we all studied and learned on our own. So I never quite got that argument. It looks a lot better. Maybe some art schools did that, but the one I went to certainly did not. Curly hair is really hard to draw. But here is kind of a technique of mine that I feel like does the job. Again, you don't really draw hair. You almost paint it, if that makes any sense. You don't want to draw the hair. You want to draw big, giant shapes. And find the highlights and find the dark tones. and concentrate on the shape of the hair. You don't want to draw, if you draw each individual strand, it's just not going to look right. No matter how good of an artist you are, you don't want to draw each individual strand. For some reason, it doesn't translate well. Hard to explain. It just doesn't. It doesn't translate well. Every once in a while, it like stops working altogether, and that's. Hold on. Bear with me for a minute, guys. I think it's getting too hot. I think that's the problem. I think it's getting too hot. Let me see. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna save this. It's like this. It's like this. This program doesn't like me very much. I might try. Wait, where was I? This is gesture 1, and I'm gonna do myself a favor. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this out because it's getting way too hot. Bear with me for a little bit longer. My live is not done. Maybe I can get my sketchbook instead. I wasn't planning on doing my sketchbook, but it might look like I'm doing that anyway. So bear with me as I get readjusted here. Excuse me. Do I have a pencil? That's the question. Okay, I do have a pencil. But do I have a pencil sharpener? Oh, the problems of an artist. If I only had a pencil, I could create the world. You know what's the perfect song for artists? This is like our theme song. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and see into my imagination. Wait, is it something beyond explanation? I don't remember the words, damn. There's nowhere I'll go in a world of pure exhilaration. Now I'm just making up the words in aggravation. These are the actual words. La-da-dee, la-da-dee. That's the actual words. Just saying. Excuse me for 1 minute. Bear with me. I have to get something. Alright, the question, oh no. Whoops. Don't mind me as I make a mess. Alright. Excusez-moi. Pardon, as they say. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but that's my best effort. Excusez-moi. How do you say that? Francois, is that it? Parlay. Oh wow, it's been so long. Parlez-vous? Something like that. Huh. You know, I could have sworn that I had a pencil sharpener. Alright, this might be a bust, guys. Because what good is a pencil without a pencil sharpener? Is that a rhetorical question? I don't know. If you have a pencil and no sharpener, can you be an artist? Terrible. Terrible. Alright, the question of the year is, do I have another pencil? Because if I have another pencil, then I can save the day. I'm sorry this is taking so long. This is what you get for doing a live. Let's see. This is also what you get for not being prepared. I could have sworn I had a pencil sharpener. Oh, bother. Let me see. Come with me, and you'll be... I'll torture you all with my terrible singing. In a world of pure imagination. Hello, how are you doing? Take a look in a book. Two things at the same time. I love doing that. That looks like a pencil, but it's not very sharp. So I'll run out very quickly. Let me see if I can find another one. If I can find like a couple pencils, I might be able to save the day. Let's see. Have no fear, Pencil Man is here. I am ready for all your pencil needs. Whatever happened to that easy button? There was this commercial that's older. That was that a Target commercial? I think it was. I just remember the buttons. There was like this easy button and made everything easy. Great times. Good times. Aha! Wait. No. Yes. No. No. That is not the droid I am looking for. Unfortunately. Alright. Keep moving on. Now, I did do myself a favor a while back. And I put all my art supplies together, so that's why I am a little confused of what on earth I did with my pencil sharpener, because I have a fairly good idea of where it is, but it's not there, so that leaves me puzzled. Just a little bit. Let me see. Did I put it in there for some reason? I do not think so. Why would it be in here? That's the question of the millennium. So I try to keep things together that have a similar purpose, sort of. Nope, I don't think it's in there. Why would it be in there? This being silly, I guess. Alright, I'm pretty sure this video is a bust by now. But I'm just gonna let it go. I did this the other day as well. Like, we need to stop. We need to see a little bit more realism. This may not be good, but it is real. Okay, real. There's no. There's a pencil eraser. That might be handy. There's a pencil, but no. Aha! That is not the one I was looking for, but it will. Wait, ha! Wait, no. That was gonna bother me because I was actually looking for another one. Alright. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. I looked for it for about 20 seconds. I'll look for it later. Stop it. You get fixated on something. I was looking for a little black one, but I found one. So I found a pencil sharpener. I don't even know how much time I have left. Oh boy. Hopefully I can get something done in that amount of time. One moment. We are experiencing no pencil difficulty. Well, I mean I have a pencil, but it's not sharpened. Excuse me as I sharpen this the old-fashioned way. I would love one of those old-fashioned pencil sharpeners, actually. Man, something about those old pencil sharpeners, you got the pencil sharpened real quick. Just grind it, really fast. It was always perfect, too. Okay, now that I got that situated, this is taking me forever. Excuse me, Mom. Alright, so wait, hold on. Cause now I'm missing something else. This is not my day, guys. This is not my day. I thought I had everything together. Turns out that he did not. Aha! Well, found that, but now I'm still in trouble because I don't have any paper. Let me see. It's kind of hard to draw without any paper, you know. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me put that there for a minute, I suppose. I have a whole bunch of drawing paper, but it's not really all that useful. Let me see. Alright. This might be actually harder than I bargained for. We'll see. Alright. Boy. That took me way too long. I apologize about that. Okay. Now this is not the kind of paper that I would prefer to draw on. But it's all I have, it seems. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself something to draw on. And we'll see if we'll see how this works. Okay. Oh, that's not gonna work either. Oh man, I am just not situated today, guys. This is the reality, guys. This is... Whoa! Almost caused a complete avalanche. I'll fix that in a minute. Oh wait. Let's get out of there. let's see. Okay. And okay. And I don't know how much time I have left. I wasted all that time. This is gonna be a terrible video, guys. Alright, let's see. I would like to do... Alright. Hey. Now, hopefully, I remember how to draw. Alright. Man, that's so much different. Let me tell you, there's nothing like a good old pencil. I don't like this pencil, but we'll have to do. That's not gonna work. Where's the Control-Alt-Delete button when you need it? When you've been spoiled by technology, you can never go back. Let me do it up here. Alright, so... I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see. There. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Maybe that will help. Alright, so... I told you I can sketch very quickly. There. Maybe I can edit this video. I might edit this. I'll leave the live alone, but I'll edit the video. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Terrible. Alright, so now I'm working more on the portraiture than the figure. If this was a figure drawing, I would have done this completely differently. Now, again, this is very small. So, I'm actually struggling a little bit to figure out. By the way, if you do have slightly bad vision like I do, then the measuring comes in handy, because then you just know where it is. But unfortunately, you end up missing something because of that. So, it's not perfect, mind you. There. Alright, so now I got that looks fine. Now, I don't know how anybody else draws a nose, but this is the way I draw a nose. So, draw this kind of triangle shape, and then I round it out. Like that. Bam, done. So easy. And then you kind of like draw some detail, and draw the shadow underneath, and draw the shadow on the other side, and draw the face like so, which By the way, nobody does this correctly. Okay, so I see a lot of people draw a face like this, which is fine, but that's not right. This is the way a face looks. Watch what my pencil does. It curves out, and it goes back in, and then it comes to a triangle, and then it comes to a point, and it goes back up, and it comes back down. Excuse me. And it goes back up. That's what a face does. Alright. Even if their facial structure is different, all faces do that. Watch for it. By the way, the forehead, it comes out. It's not curving inward. It comes out. Anyway. I never see anybody do that right, so I just figured I would point that out. I think the eyebrow might be too high. Let me lower it a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. Now I am not a what do you call a hyper-realist. I'm just going for a likeness. But these small little details that I just talked about are still important. You want to get the overall, you want to get the shape. You definitely want to get your shapes right. Whether you're a realistic artist or not, you want to get your shapes right. The nose is mostly shadow. So try not to draw too many lines. Because if you draw too many lines, then it's just not going to look very nice. It's mostly shadow. And then there's like that hard line here. There's a hard line here. And then there's like a hard line underneath the nose. And then there's a hard line underneath the nose. And the rest is just shadow. So that's one mistake I've seen a lot of people make. They draw the nose too dark. It's mostly shadow. And then you want to bring out the darkness in the eyes, which I talked about the other day. So I'm actually drawing this on the lighter side, especially for me. But you still want those eyes dark. If you're drawing color, the rules are a little bit differently, obviously. But a black and white drawing, this is what you want to do. Now, hair, this is how you draw hair, guys. Watch. So easy. Sorry about the noise. Now, I would do more with that, but I'm keeping it pretty simple right now. This giving you the basic, like this is the first step. I would go over this again with an eraser, and then go over it again and again, like 2 or 3 times. And eventually you have a very nice shape. So the second part would look like this. Now you want to highlight that face just ever so slightly. Not too much. Don't forget that shadow underneath the eye. It's almost always there. and then the shadow underneath the brow. And then right here is a highlight right here. Like that. Depending on the lighting, but you get it. Alright. And then I kind of messed up the shape of the hair a little bit. So I'm just going to come back over that a little bit. Now, here's something I don't know if anybody else does. But I'm not erasing. I'm actually drawing. Hello, how you doing? I'm actually drawing with my eraser. I'm not erasing with my eraser. I'm drawing with my eraser. And that's kind of hard to explain, but give it a try sometimes. I think the chin is a little bit more. Not much more, though. Something like that. That depends on the person. But the overall shape is definitely there. And then there's the lips. Now, a lot of people say that lips are hard to draw. I find them so easy that I just never even think about it. The top is just a shadow. Like this. Just a shadow. And then the bottom is a shape. Like that. And then another shape. Like that. And then about half the lip is shadow. And there we go. Bam. An open mouth is a different story, but a smile is easy to draw, I think. And don't forget the bridge of the nose. Everybody forgets that. Everybody has one. I mean, whatever that's called. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, the structure between the nose and the mouth. Don't forget that. There's a shadow. There's a shadow. I like to call it the mustache. The mustache. Don't forget the mustache. I don't know what that's called. I have to look it up. Does that have a name? I don't know if that has a name. Weird. The disability that doesn't have it is called a cleft. Is it a cleft lip or a cleft? Yeah, I think that's right. A cleft lip. But what's the normal one called? I don't know, actually. It's funny. Never really thought about it, but that other eye is tricky. Now, I have an easier time drawing it with a pencil. So, it doesn't really bother me. Digitally, yeah, it totally bothers me. So, just because I've been drawing for a long time doesn't mean I've been drawing digitally that amount of time. It's a different skill set, I think. I can almost do this in my sleep. I've been drawing so long. There. It's very relaxing. That chin is still wrong. Let me fix it. Actually, I think I was right with that eyebrow. That one's wrong though. A little bit. Not a lot of it, but just a little bit. There. And don't forget to bring in the highlights, like so. There's always a shadow right here, underneath the cheek. Don't forget about that shadow. Now here's a good example where the neck disappears. Okay, but it's only because of the way she's sitting, and the way her head is sitting. But here is also a good example of just how large the neck is. It goes all the way there. Look how long that is. And then there's the trap. And then there is the clavicle. Right there. Roughly. And there's the other clavicle. Roughly. There's the deltoid. There's the arm. That arm's gonna be hard. Let me get back to it. Sometimes I like to save things for later. That arm looks like it's gonna be tricky. She's raising her arm above her head. And it just looks like it's going to be kind of tricky. Now, roughly, that arm is equal with her forehead. So there's always measurements you can do to help you out. That hairline is off. Something like that. And there, that's better. Let me highlight that nose a little bit more. I think her mouth is a little off. There. You just kind of see things as you go. Like, don't marry what you originally did. You just kind of make little tweaks. That's what makes you an artist. If you can draw it perfectly the first time, then good for you. But if you can't, then this is what you gotta do. I don't think I have that capability. I have to adjust. I have to make a lot of adjustments. There. That's already better. That eye's a little messed up. I think it's lower. And the other part, it looks a little messed up too. Something more like that. Yeah, that looks better. Sometimes it's a hair. A hair will make a huge difference. Just a small modification will make the biggest difference. Especially if you're using a reference. Now this is where not using a reference can actually be good. Quote, "Hello, how you doing?" Not good, just a benefit. A benefit is a better word. When you don't use a reference, you don't have to worry about it. Kidding. I've never been able to imagine it. Unfortunately, I'm just not gifted with that skill. I do not possess that skill, so I need a reference. What I do is I find a stock photo, and I'll look up the rules of the stock photo. There are a lot of stock photos that will say educational use is allowed or whatever. So those are good for learning how to draw. You will find some that will say commercial use is allowed, or you can message the artist and ask them outright if you would like that permission, or in my case, you can hire a model for a reference. I like working with artists of all kinds, including models. Yeah. So there are definitely ways to get your work done if you need a little bit of assistance. Not all things are meant to be done by yourself. Yeah, you can probably do most things on your own, but why struggle when you can get the help that you need? Now, since her body is slanted, her neck will be slightly slanted as well. It's not going to be straight up and down, it's going to be slanted to the side. And then the trapezoid is going to be here. See that small modification I just made? Made a huge difference. And then this is, again, this is going to connect to the ear. And then since her head is tilted, the line is also tilted. And this line is also tilted. So this ear is going to be higher than normal because her face is tilted. Never forget that. If the head is tilted, so is the ear. I've seen a lot of people make that mistake. As a matter of fact, I think it's even more tilted than that. Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you doing? Welcome. So, I was just talking about measuring the ear. When the head is at a tilt, you want to make sure that the line that you're using for the ear is also tilted. There's always shadows. Always. Always, always, always. Even if the light is shining on her, there are always shadows. You can find shadows everywhere. And conversely, you can find light anywhere. You just have to pay attention. So, that shadow on the cheek. That shadow on the other side of the cheek. Give that three-dimensional appeal. Shadow underneath the lip. Shadow underneath the chin. And suddenly it looks a little bit better. this is going to be a little bit tricky. This is not a shape I'm used to drawing. So let me try to be a little looser about it. And then let me remember my anatomy as well. So here's where the shoulder is. Right there. And then that connects. Sometimes it's very good to remember your anatomy, because then everything will look a little bit better if you remember your anatomy. So instead of using the reference, you're using your own experience instead of the reference. Change the angle, change the movement, because it looks a little bit awkward. Because cameras can do something that the eye cannot do. Don't forget where the chest attaches to. It attaches to that arm. It attaches to the shoulder. And then the inside muscle, the bicep, here. And then the outside muscle, the tricep, here. The tricep is an arch, like that. And then the torso, or the underarm. Now, when you raise your arm, your pectorals lift, and so does the chest muscles, and it pulls on the frame of the body, so it lifts the chest. That looks alright. Don't forget about the saddle underneath your neck. I think that's a little off. The chest can be very difficult to draw because there's a lot of details in the chest. The sternum, for example, I've talked about this before. The sternum is quite detailed. There is a bone here. Like that. And don't forget how long the torso is. The torso is quite long, even at a resting position. The arm is very big. As a matter of fact, it's as big as your entire body. Roughly. So don't be afraid to recheck how large it is. The arm, if you include the shoulder, is 1/2 of your wingspan, which is 1/2 the length of your entire body. So if you minus the shoulder, it's roughly 1/3 your body. So the arm is very large, and the forearm, this is the forearm. What's this called? The hind arm. This is now officially the hind arm, I guess. I don't know. That's so weird. This is the forearm. This is the two arm. I don't know. Is there a name for that? Forearm? That doesn't have a name. Huh. That's so weird. Does that have a name? I don't think that has a name. This is the forearm. Right? I'm pretty sure. Am I crazy? This is the forearm. Not this. I feel like it's the other way around. Like this is the forearm and this is... That's so weird. Oh well. That's bizarre. That is really strange. Anyway, so the tricep and the bicep. That's so weird. Wait, is that the forearm? Oh man, now I'm tricking myself. Hold on. We're gonna solve this right now. I'm surprised this is still running. What is the forearm? We're gonna solve this right now, guys. The forearm. The forearm is... image. Yeah, and that's what I thought. So what's that called? What's the other part called? Does that have a name? I don't think that has a name. It's so weird. By the way, what are the muscles in the forearm card? We have... Oh boy, we have a whole bunch of them, looks like. Oh, I recall that one. The radialis... That's a hard one to say. The... exterior carpi. The exterior carpi. Exterior carpi. Oh no, that's the ulna. That's really ulnarius, the ulnarius, exterior carpus. So the ulnarius, the radialis longs, and the radialis brevis. 1, 2, 3. And the oh, is that why it's called the forearm? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I knew that. But no, that can't be right because that's like 5. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, and then we have the lateral the lateral eccondyle, epicondyle. Oh boy, I have no idea how to say that. And then you have the exterior. Oh, that's the exterior tendons. The radial slide. That's why it's called the forearm. Interesting. Anyway, little anatomy lesson, guys. I don't know how to pronounce that. The lateral epicondyle. The lateral epicondyle. That's my best guess, guys. Now that I took a small break, I noticed immediately that my frame is a little off. So let me do some adjustments here. So no matter what the arm is doing, the chest is always the same. So let me fix that. The chest would be roughly here, I believe. Yes. And then I just need to change the slope. Now we're talking about math. You'd be surprised how much math is in drawing, guys. You have slope, you have a whole bunch of math. geometry, you have all kinds of stuff going on. So yeah, the torso is quite wide as well, even on a female. It's actually really hard for me to draw at this scale, so I'm not sure how I'm doing with that. I've drawn at this scale before, and something always just seems off. It is difficult to draw at a higher scale. My recommendation is to start out with one or two things and like just map things as you go. And like I said, remember your remember your proportions. In my experience, the chest is approximately one head or a little bit more down. So if the head is this size, then the chest should be roughly here, which, as you can see, I was off by a great deal. And I'm going to try to measure the picture. Let's see how close I was. Actually, a little bit up. So, because it's raised, because her chest is raised, that changes the proportions. If her chest was down, it would probably be at this line. And then, so you actually can see a little bit more of the the torso. My mind went blank there for a minute. Excuse me. Actually, it wasn't that off. It was a little off. Something like that looks better, I think, yeah. Alright, so, moving on. I'm not going to look up every name of every muscle. But this muscle here has a lot of definition. Hold on, I think I know that one. The latissimus dorsi, I think. I believe. I believe. That is the latissimus dorsi. I might look that up later. Pretty sure, though. So the latissimus dorsi is the back, but you can see a part of the latissimus dorsi from the front as well. Mainly when you're raising your arm. I think it's a little bit on the side. As well, not so much the back, but the side. And then the back muscle is something else. The deltoid. So this is the latissimus dorsi, and the back muscle is the deltoid. The big giant back muscle is the deltoid. Or is it the other way around? I get dyslexic, guys, so pardon me. It might be the other way around. I feel like that's right. The lat is on the side, and the deltoid is in the middle. I think that's right. Anyway. Now, sometimes it's easier to sketch than to draw, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sketch it instead of draw. There we go. That looks better. You just kind of You can fix a lot of things by sketching it instead. Now, I talked about this before, but the chest always has a separation. Almost always. There might be some exceptions, but in general, it's a good rule of thumb. There's a large separation between the two. Sometimes I can't stand PC because it's difficult for people with the learning curve to know how to speak sometimes. So I apologize about that. Sometimes I don't know what you're allowed to say or not allowed to say, or it gets tricky. Anyway, the chest area. And I know that there has been many photos that have been taken down, and there have been many drawings that have been taken down, and I don't know. So there's no rules anymore, and that makes it even harder to understand. So I'm just gonna do this as discreetly as I can, because I'd rather not deal with that. I am fully aware of the correct term, and I'm just walking on eggshells, that's all. I'd rather not, but it is what it is. I mean, either way, this is referred to as the chest, so let's just leave it at that. It's still correct. Well, actually, the chest is here. So, anyway, the pectoral area. The chest is actually up here. That's the chest. This area. I guess you can call this the ribs. The sternum is here. The pectoralis is actually underneath. Yeah, the pectoralis is actually underneath. Oh well. I think the rules are a little bit different on YouTube. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I have to double check that. I have to look into that. I'll look into that later. I think they are. I think they are different on YouTube. I actually don't know. No, actually, no. I think you have to be pretty careful on YouTube as well. So, I don't even know anymore. Like, let me do my job. I'm an artist. Oh, that looks better. Took me a while to get that shape. There we go. So this is something called finding the line. That's what I'm doing here. I'm finding the line. Because the original line I drew was wrong, so I'm finding it. I'm looking for it. So I just keep on correcting it until it looks right. And then we have our shadow very lightly, like so. There we go. And then don't forget about the sternum as well, which is also shady. I don't trust people who can draw. They always seem kinda sketchy. We're a bunch of shady bunch. We are the shady bunch, the shady bunch, the shady bunch. Do 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 do. Whoops. Having a little bit too much fun. Yes, that is possible. You can have too much fun, guys. And I don't know how long this has been going on for. Feels like it's been going on for a while. Did they extend the lives? Are lives longer now? But didn't they start out as being an hour? Weird. Feels like it's been longer than an hour at this point. To be perfectly frank, I'm not entirely sure how good this is. I'm not used to drawing at this scale, so it may not be all that great, but it's looking okay, I think. Drawing at scale is rather difficult. If you've never given it a try, I encourage you to try it. It's definitely a challenge, to say the least. It changes your perspective quite drastically. Literally. Then you realize that all of these rules are there for kind of a reason. Because when you're drawing at scale, then the rules become even more apparent. Now, the connective tissue between the chest and the arm is also round. It's not straight. So, let me fix that. Nothing is straight, guys. Nothing. Everything is curvy. As a matter of fact, this comes to like an S. Kind of an S shape. And so does this. So does the bicep. That comes to like this. Everything is S shaped. And don't forget how long that bicep is. It's quite long. Apparently, I like that word. The elbow is odd. Show me an artist that appreciates the elbow, because it's definitely odd. hard to draw. There we go. I think that looks alright. No, it's not perfect, but look, it's looking pretty good. There. Okay, I think that looks better. Yes. Yes, looking a lot better. Sometimes just draw that elbow. If you draw the elbow, it actually helps. Just draw the elbow. Just draw the elbow and then erase it later. Because it's a very, very round. Let's draw that circle. And then the bicep comes like that. And then like that. And like that. Now, C's foreshortened, so this whole thing is definitely challenging, to say the least. I'm actually kind of adjusting it a little bit. I definitely struggle with foreshortening, for sure. That's really challenging for me. It's just because I prefer to draw things as I see them. And in order to draw foreshortening, you have to draw something as if you don't see it. So, that's a little bit above my ability, I feel. I've never been able to do foreshortening. It never looks right, no matter how hard I try. I think I'm a fairly good artist, but I definitely have my weaknesses. Okay, that's looking alright, I guess. Alright, I think that's a good place to stop. I don't know how long I've been going on, but I think that's a good time to take a break. And I might work on this later. More later. We'll see. I think that's a good place to stop. This has been alive for a while. And, yeah. Starlight Studio live drawings. I don't know if I'm planning on doing this every single day, but we'll see. We'll be here, I'm thinking, like 3 days of the week, 4 days of the week, we'll see. We'll see how it works. I'll do some live cooking, I'll do some live drawing, I'm going to change it up a bit. I'll do a live critique like I did before. Something. I'll be doing something maybe every day. We'll see. I have to think about it. Anyway, signing out, guys. Starlight Studios.